They're just idiots. They've always been idiots. They'll always be idiots. Grace writes, "Hey Colton, I am very excited that Steve Rogers is coming back for Avengers Doomsday. I love him and Bucky and Sam and can't wait to see them all together again. I do wonder, however, if his return is undermining Sam's time as Captain America." All right, thank you so much for the question. And yeah, I too am super excited that Steve Rogers is back. But I have to say, I'm not even a little bit surprised. I've been telling you guys for years now that yes, of course, Steve Rogers, Chris Evans will be back in the next Avengers movie. It's a guarantee. Never doubt me, okay? But look, now with like this confirmation that he's back, I have heard from, I guess you could say, two camps, one of which is more vile than the other, but both seem to think that this Steve Rogers return is somehow a commentary on Sam's role as Captain America, or like Marvel's response to Brave New World not being great or doing great. I've seen the more well-meaning side of this argument where people are saying, well, what was the point of the end of Endgame? Let Steve rest. Let Sam have his time. And I just have to say that this suggestion that the return of Steve Rogers is somehow Marvel giving in and responding to Brave New World not being received well. And then there's, the more obnoxious side of the internet that is saying stupid shit like, oh, the real Captain America is back. And, oh, they're taking victory laps. Like Marvel has conceded that no one likes Sam Wilson, Captain America. And that's why they're bringing back Steve Rogers to right the wrongs of the multiverse saga. To both sides, and I mean, like, a special fuck you to the real Captain America's back. Screw you guys. Chris Evans would hate you. Anyway, but to both sides, and I hate to say, oh, both sides, but really, everyone's wrong. You're all wrong. Steve Rogers' return, a return that was always going to happen, it has absolutely zero to do with Sam Wilson's time as Cap. And this was going to happen no matter what. Even if Brave New World was regarded as like the best Marvel movie ever, and everyone thought that Sam Wilson was the superior Captain America, Steve Rogers would still be coming back for Doomsday because the story calls for it. Steve Rogers is a key piece of the MCU, a very important character who has so much more story to be told, story that was set up in Avengers Endgame. And to all these people saying, what was the point of Endgame's ending if you're just going to bring him back 7 years later? What does that even mean? What do you mean, what's the point? What's the point of any of it? If you're going to ask that, it's all pretend made up bullshit to entertain us and distract from our crumbling planet. That's the point. Steve Rogers is back because it's cool. Steve Rogers was always coming back. In the comics, Steve Rogers passes the mantle of Captain America to Sam Wilson, but Sam Wilson serves as Captain America, but Steve Rogers is still around. He's still an active hero in the Marvel Universe, fighting alongside Sam's Cap. So while I understand like the optics of, we gave Sam the shield, and he's Captain America now. The audience didn't exactly respond well to it, so now Steve Rogers is back. I get how it can look that way. But it can look like a backtrack, but that's not what it is. Because it was always the plan it was always the plan for the character of Steve Rogers to have a role to play in this movie, even when it was Kang Dynasty. And a role to play in Secret Wars as well. And I just think it's great news all around. It doesn't undermine Sam. It opens the door for us to get more stories with Steve Rogers, Sam, Bucky, and find out what Steve got up to all those years between when we saw him leave on the time platform and when he comes back as an old man and gives Sam the shield, a shield that I think that old Steve Rogers from the future will have gotten from a future Sam Wilson. But I've talked about that theory plenty. I won't get into it again here. So, to answer the question, no, I don't think bringing back Steve Rogers is disrespectful to Sam. There is room for both. And no, I don't think bringing back Steve Rogers in any way, shape, or form is any type of commentary from Marvel on the status of Sam Wilson as Cap. Sam Wilson is Captain America. Sam Wilson will remain Captain America. And Steve Rogers will be Steve Rogers. And I think he may even become like president Steve Rogers in like the post Secret Wars era of the MCU. Maybe that's why they made him look like President Biden. Granted, Endgame was made before Biden beat Trump. Anyway, I don't want to hear the what's the point bullshit though. The point is that they took a little break after Endgame. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and we're about to get more great stories with Chris Evans and Steve Rogers alongside Sam Wilson, Captain America. And I know I did the whole the both sides thing. I understand the side of the argument of, oh, it looks like they're backtracking. They're not giving Sam his time. I disagree with that. And to the numbskulls who are saying, oh, the real Captain America is back, Marvel caves. They're just fucking idiots. They've always been fucking idiots. They'll always be fucking idiots. So I really don't know why I even give them the time of day. I guess it's fun to laugh at their stupidity. All right. Hey, everybody, Colton here, and this is the Mailbag style show where I take your questions about Marvel, Star Wars, DC, movies and streaming in general, whatever you want to ask. Send it in at the email address, askcoltonnow@gmail.com, link in the description below, and hey, maybe you'll see your question featured right here on the show.